This is the Late Show with Flynn. I am your host, Flynn, with the impactful, super omega impactful, and one of my good friends, Natan Stephen Mallory the first.
Wow. Thank you very much, Flynn. Yeah, as he said, my name is Natan. I'm not sure about the Super Omega thing. I feel like a DC villain. But thank you very much for the intro.
How are you doing, Natan?
I'm doing quite well. 2021 getting a new start to everything. How are you?
Well, I'm great, man. I'm great. It's really good hearing from you.
I'm saying good hearing from you too. This whatever's going on outside at this point has kind of kept everybody at distance. And I'm awful with communication over the phone, so it's great to hear you.
Oh, dude, I agree. I'm right there with you as far as staying in touch with people. I have so many unopened messages, and I look at them, and sometimes I feel bad, but then I remember, I'm only one man, Can't respond to everybody.
Yeah, plus I need me time, Gotta make sure I'm responding to myself properly.
Right. Yes, you put it in perfect words, bro. I'm gonna take that ideology and run with it.
Go for it.
So we've known each other for a few years now. We've worked orientation team together. We worked in student involvement together. Even before both of those, we would run into each other all the time. And what I've always liked about you is your energy and the energy you bring into each encounter. Like, you are very, I want to say positive, but I feel like positive doesn't fully embody what I'm trying to say. Like, you are very influential with your energy, very positive, very impactful. And from what I've seen from you and the many encounters that we've had, you've consistently brought that energy. And I've always appreciated that about you. That's always fascinated me about you, because even when I feel positive or I feel good, sometimes the world can weigh on you, and sometimes you aren't always in the space to radiate joy or radiate happiness or reach out to another and influence them just to feel good, and I've really appreciated that about you. I kind of want to know, like, what is your mindset when it comes to the energy you bring to the table each day?
Gotcha. Well, first off, I think you messed up from the jump. I'm gonna have a super big ego for the rest of the day, but thank you. I know I kind of, in the humblest way I can, I often get this comment about me being positive, and then there's usually the follow-up question, how do I stay positive and things like that. And for me, it's kind of just a lifestyle, and a lot of it was brought on by my parents, kind of teaching me and raising me to a point where, we would wake up, my mom's, singing a song, everything's happy. My parents consistently reminding me that even though things, might look bleak or something like that, that in the end it'll be okay. So I know definitely from childhood, that's basically how I was raised, to be energetic and positive and things like that. But then, kind of growing up and getting out of that childhood stage, I had to find more of a better footing when it comes to being positive and staying positive. And for a while, I had that within my faith, within my belief in God. And though I still have that faith and belief in God, I believe that you can't just stop there. So you can't just stop at, I had a good childhood and, I believe in God or a higher power, right? There has to be a certain mindset that's attached to it. For me, there's just a few things that kind of go into the mindset that I have. So one of those things is hope. And so there's always the hope for me that things can get better. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, without necessarily having to die. And so there's always that hope that's consistently fueling me. And so, there's a hope in a better me. There's a hope in a better world overall. And that is one thing that definitely fuels me to keep going. So no matter, how mean a person might be to me, or how down a person might be, or how bad a situation might seem with a person, in the back of my mind, it's always pretty much been, ever since I was little, that, hey, it might look like this right now, but that doesn't mean it has to stay like this forever. And that fuels me to go and be positive with people, help them out of situations if they need help, try to help them cheer themselves up if there's any way that I can do that. And, that hope really drives me to keep going. The hope in just a better future and whatever it might be. I would say pairing with that, it's also, the hope of me saying like, okay, things are going to get better. But then also, what can I do, or what do I have to do in order for those things to get better? So one of the biggest things for me, in order to make things get better or help things along in getting better, is to actually, take action or do something in helping those things come to pass. So I do have the hope, but I also try to take action to try to build, like a better tomorrow or a better future. So that, involves me being positive, trying to motivate myself and then motivate others as well. Because, I could sit down in a chair all I want, hoping for money, but if I don't go and take action on it, then that's great that I have that belief that, I'm going to get cash straight to my pocket, but it also has to involve work in order to come to pass.
Right. Like you can't just, I feel like it's an energy thing, but it's also an action thing. Like you have to be hopeful and have a certain perspective and mindset, but that alone isn't enough in a lot of situations, especially in today's time where people are more logically driven, where they need to see it before they believe it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, most definitely.
You pair it perfectly, dude, and that kind of stems into my next question for you, which is, I believe personally, and of course this is my perspective, but I believe that, obviously that's one of my favorite traits of yours, and that's inspired me to really reach out to other people and not just be positive, but put it into practice, and uplift other people. And I've seen you come into so many situations, and when you left, the energy was different. That I've always strived for the same, because I believe that is true impact. When you can walk into a situation and you can uplift the energy of everyone involved in that situation, and you just walk off. You just continue your day, but everybody else's day has changed from that moment on. And it's very subtle. But I believe that's a key trait to being a likable person, and you're a very, very, very likable person. So I wanted to ask you, what are some tips that you would recommend or share for someone out there who feels like people don't like them, they're not the most comfortable socially, but they want to put themselves out there? What do you recommend?
Well, first off, there you go again, boosting my ego, but thank you. I'm not stopping you at all. I'm just making note of it for the people listening. That way they know, I recognize and I understand what's going on. And I also think you've done a great job of, lighting up a room, things like that. So if that's your goal, I just wanted to let you know and or remind you that you're achieving it.
Thank you.
No problem. In terms of being likable, I find it very easy now. I guess, see, this is an odd thing. I'm trying to be humble, but also answer your question.
See, no. You gotta Sometimes you gotta step out the humbleness.
Yeah, and so I mean, I'll step out of humbleness as a joke, but like deep down inside, I'm like, man, who am I being right now? You know, I would say in order to be likable, there's a quote my mom uses. It's a scripture, but like the way she says it, I just enjoy the way she phrases it. So it's just, if you want friends, show yourself friendly, right? And so that's, you know, part of the method that I use to attract people or attract friends or, you know, people that I want to be in my life. In order to get them into my life, what I try to do is put out the energy that I want received. And so that involves, you know, going up to sometimes random people, saying hi, smiling and things like that. And that, for someone that may be more introverted or more shy, can be terrifying. I mean, absolutely, like, they may, you know, due to anxiety and things like that, may almost throw up before they think of, you know, going to a new person or something like that, you know, just a brand new person. So what I would recommend, or what I try to recommend for people like that, is you can even start online or over Instagram or something like that, and try to find people in like certain groups where you have a similar interest, whether it's a TV show, movie, so on and so forth, and maybe try to connect virtually first before meeting up in person, because it takes a lot of the stress off. And as long as you're being safe or trying to, you know, verify that that person's not a killer or anything like that, then typically, you know, that's a pretty good way to go. But if you really want to like get out into the world and have people like you or kind of be likable, my best tips from personal experience is to go and, number one, put out the energy that you're going to want to accept or that you want into your life. And I know people say that a lot. And so one way that, you know, that can be shown, or how that looks in my life, is I'll go up to people, you know, whether it's coworkers, random people, it doesn't matter who it is, and try to initiate with positivity. And if someone brings negativity or something like that into the conversation, I'll try to flip that or twist that around so that, you know, this thing that we came in negative with now becomes positive. So if it's, hey, I'm stressed at work and things like that, then, you know, I'll take a moment, listen to the issues and things, but I don't want to harbor on that negativity, because I don't want all of our conversations going forward to be negative. And I don't want the person to feel negative around me because all we talk about is negativity. So, you know, I try to build up that positive feeling of conversation and things like that around me. That way, when that person gets around me, they know, you know, we're going to have a positive conversation. It's laughs and things. We can still talk about serious stuff, but we're not going to stay negative. So I definitely think putting out energy that you want in your own life, typically being positive, will definitely make you likable. No one really wants to hang around someone who's negative all the time. Even though we all have times that we're negative or we might feel down, there's no one that really wants to hang around someone that's like that all of the time. So first off, put out positive energy. A second big tip I would say that really helps in being likable is making sure to open yourself up to people, but also being open to let people open up to you. And so what that means is, you know, we have a lot of judgments in our society based off of people's history, their beliefs, choices, and things like that. But one thing people don't like is being heavily judged or counted off or discounted and things like that because of something they may feel strongly about, maybe a way they were raised, their background and things like that. So if you're cutting people off because they like pineapple on pizza, for example, as a silly example, that's going to hurt that person, and the result won't be them liking you, right? Now, you don't have to necessarily like pineapples on pizza, but you can be open to listening to why they like pineapples on pizza, why, they think it's a good flavor, and you can just listen to them and respect what they're saying without discounting them or judging them based off of, these things that a lot of times that people are passionate about or people just want to open up about. There have been several times when I've let people open up to me, and I've made it kind of like a no judgment or judge-free zone, and people have been just so appreciative that they had the chance to express something without any backlash or judgment. So that's really important as well. So, like a summarized version, I'd say, in being likable, go spread out that positivity, and also when people are coming to you and trying to open up to you, make sure that you're giving them like a judge-free zone, and that you're also trying to open up to them as well. So it's like a two-way street. It helps trust and things like that. And I promise you, it'll gain friends. It might take a little bit, like practicing and things like that. But putting it into practice, especially when it comes to judgment, because our society is so, I'll say, like judge heavy. It might take a while to kind of get out of that mindset, but once you've mastered it and you're spreading positivity, you're opening up to people, you're letting people open up to you, then everything kind of smooths over, and eventually you'll kind of be like Flynn, where you just got tons and tons of messages that you haven't even responded to. Now you have to decide which friends to respond to.
Don't say it like that. No, I'm not even gonna explain it, but I love your 2 tips, man. Like bringing positivity to the table and then creating a space, a non-judgmental space. Those are 2 really key things. Honestly, when I was thinking about these questions and what your possible responses could be, well, just what my response would be, it would basically be like the same thing. If in order for you to attract and be in the friendships, relationships, whatever you want to be in, like, you have to bring that same energy to the table. There's no I'm gonna be judgmental, but I expect people not to be judgmental of me. Like, in a very logical way, that makes no sense. And in an energetic way, it doesn't exist. So yeah, bro, I agree 100%.
Yeah, and I mean, there have even been situations or like jobs where I might not have been the best at the job, but I'd still have a team that supported and liked me versus, someone who might be really good at a job or in a field, but doesn't, brings that negativity instead of positivity and spends time judging people. And I've been in situations like that where people have chosen me, even if they might complain about my, how I might have gotten the job done. Maybe it was a little off. Maybe I needed to clean up in a few places. But the fact that, I kept bringing positivity to the table, and I also listened to people and then opened up about myself personally, people just like that more than, you're always negative, you're always judging people. No one knows too much about you. You don't have to put all your cards on the table, but if you're just a figure with a question mark, like in a video game just unlocked, who can really choose you?
Right. That's a perfect analogy. You're A1 with analogies too, bro. You're A1.
I tried.
Oh man, well, thank you, Natan. I want to thank you for joining me and sharing that. I know at the very least, like, someone has to pick up that. Like, the sociability is so key nowadays in general in life. Like, we're all social beings, and with social media with social media and how close we are in the world, how we can instantly connect with another person, we've almost lost the real subtlety of connecting with other people. Like it's easier to, but that doesn't make us more prone to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like what you shared is, it helps in breaking down the barriers to communication and connection.
Well, thank you. I like the way you phrased my compliment. I appreciate that.
I've been working. But if you guys want to connect with Natan, is there you have some social media platforms, or I don't know, like different ways people can connect with you?
Oh, most definitely. I do have social media platforms. Just beware, I'm not really big on posting. I have posts there so you can verify my identity, but I don't post too often. But I do like responding to people's questions and things like that. I have my more social account at TKO Bro, so TKO and then BRO on Instagram, and then more of my official page, if you want to talk about official business, at NatanMallory, that's Natan Mallory on Instagram as well.
Thank you, Natan, and I'll also link your social medias, and depends how this gets uploaded, but we're working out the kinks, but we'll also tag you in this post as well.
Gotcha, I appreciate that.
Thanks, bro, man. I really appreciate this.
Of course. Anytime, sir. Flynn, you've been an inspiration to me, so I'm glad I could give back.
I'm going to take the humble route. But yeah, bro, for sure, dude. Like, we've influenced each other. I'd like to think that you've influenced me more than I've influenced you. So I'm going to end it now so you don't have a chance to say the opposite.